Hello, my name is Larry Green, and I am a full-time instructor at Lake Tahoe Community College. And I'm here to talk to you about some of my experiences using an OER textbook, in particular Collaborative Statistics by Susan Dean and Barbara Ilowski. Several years ago, before I was using the OER textbook, I used to assign a regular publisher textbook, and it cost around $150. You know about Lake Tahoe, most people know that it's really beautiful. What people don't know is that there are very few good jobs here. So our students pretty much can't afford a $150 textbook. What we call our neighborhood actually is poverty with a view, because that's what Lake Tahoe is. So I get to class and I tell everyone that they have to buy the textbook, and then usually about 30% or so, maybe more, wouldn't end up buying it, and then they'd really suffer, and their chance of succeeding in the class goes way down when they don't have that textbook. So I got together with my department. We have a very small department. In fact, there was only one other person at the time, full-timer, who was teaching statistics, and we decided to adopt the OER textbook by Ilowski and Dean and try it out and see how it works. So the students, at first they were in shock that they didn't have to pay for a book because they were so used to having to deal with that issue. But then they were very happy and they were pleased with the book. And we used the textbook. The textbook was like other textbooks. It had all the content that we needed. The one thing it didn't really have at the time was any resources for computer-assisted homework and computer-assisted learning other than a few videos that were incorporated in the book. So we actually used the textbook for, I think, 2 years, and then we decided to go back to the expensive book. The going back was even worse because students, again, couldn't afford it. And we really didn't like the textbook that we were using that was a publisher book, and we didn't like the computer-assisted learning part of it either. So I actually went and made it my project, and I developed my own Moodle that had with it a homework bank of questions, so that I created a computer-assisted learning. And we decided to go back to the Ilowski and Dean book and use it in accompanying with the work that I did on computer-assisted learning, and also with some extra videos on how to do problems that were incorporated, or I incorporated into it. I posted on YouTube and I also put it on my site. At first, because I'm not a great editor and it was just me doing it, there were a lot of errors and bugs in the program. But after, it's been a few years now, about 3 years I guess, and along with very patient students, we now have a system that works great. The students love it, and they rave about not having to pay for the textbook, how good the book is, and the videos and the Moodle and all the accompanying pieces for that book. So it's worked really well. And in particular, about a year ago or so, the authors started a revision of the book to really improve the quality of the graphics that were in the version of the book, and also the content itself. They edited it. They added a couple little sections that, for me, it helped a lot because it was part of our content. And I got to help with that in the editing and the reviewing and the suggesting ideas for improvement. So now they have a spectacular textbook, and along with the work that I've done, we have a full package for our students. The only piece that they actually have to spend money on is we use the TI-84 Plus calculator, which goes for about $120, but by good use of eBay, I've been able to purchase a whole collection of used calculators, and I put them in the library so the students can check them out for the entire quarter for $5. So the entire cost of the course now, other than a small amount of tuition for the California community colleges, is just the $5 rental fee for the calculator. The students are very happy. I have noticed a huge increase in retention, especially in the first 2 or 3 weeks, because the first 2 or 3 weeks in the old days, that's when they realized that they couldn't afford the textbook, and then they dropped the class. Now in the first 2 or 3 weeks, they can focus on just learning statistics. And the issue now is that statistics is a hard subject instead of it's difficult to afford the class. So in the future, possibly even this coming term, I'm thinking about flipping the class, which means that I'm going to have the students read the textbook at home and watch the accompanying videos that Olowski has put up, and I'm going to add a couple more of my own. And then in class, there are projects that are incorporated in this OER textbook. And we're going to have projects that the students work on during class. I'm not going to flip every day, but maybe once a week or maybe once every other week will be a flip day, at which instead of a lecture, they view the videos and read the book. And then in class, we do projects where I can work with them in pairs or in groups, and they'll get much better attention. And hopefully that'll work. It's an experiment, and I'll find out if that's successful or not. And if it is, then I'll continue with it. If it's not, then we'll go back. So my suggestion, if you are thinking about adopting the textbook, is to contact either Barbara Lowski or myself, or if you're adopting any OER textbook, contact some of the adopters so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel and figure out how to make it work for your students. And they'll be able to help you. Whoever has used it will have the experience to give you suggestions on the best use of the materials and how to approach it and how to supplement. So thank you for listening, and I encourage you to think about adopting an OER textbook because the students really, really appreciate it, especially the ones that are have financial struggles, which for our community is just about all of them. So thank you again.